Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's realm. It's a bit of a sunnier day today. The clouds are still grey and murky looking, but the sun's punching its way through, trying to illuminate Holland Park, Brisbane, and bring light and luminescence and joy to my world. Yay! Half the time you have to create it from within, darlings. You can't always rely on bringing the weather with you, aka crowded house. But us New Zealanders know a lot about taking the weather with us. Coming from quite often a cold and miserable windy climate as I did. Wellington, New Zealand. Anyway, so I'm going to continue with my readings of my musings, journaling, creativity, offerings. What is this thing on my eye? What is that? Don't even know what that is. I've just had a shower too. I should be spotlessly clean. I've managed to get schmutz on my eye. Is it gone? Yes. There we go. I can take myself seriously now. Oh dear goddess. I was just thinking I shall delete and start again. But you know what? I'm an authentic podcaster. What you see is what you get, including random schmutzy things on my eyeball. So here we are. I will continue. I am intrepid like that. You have to laugh. It's a little bit insane making, people, but like my love life, after a while it all becomes very, very funny indeed. After you've done the years of suffering over some malignant idiot. But never mind. Shh. There are good men out in the world. I see them every day, loving their women, being joyous and loving and sweet. And one might come my way one day, and hopefully we don't cancel each other out with our intensity and our magnificence. But I am meeting lovely men. I've got a couple of lovely fellows at the club, both unavailable, who do say they love me. And you know what? I welcome all forms of love as long as it's safe and respectful of my energy and not invasive and not toxic and not, not cheating on someone, being vile, because I don't want to be privy to any of that. And but good solid agape, unconditional, sweet, platonic love is always welcome in my world. And the romantic, passionate, true love of my life will manifest one day in perfect alignment, guided and protected by the Holy One in all manifestations, because I really can't, my heart can't take any more mistakes, people. Too many mistakes and too much cruelty and sadism. I can't do it. And if I'm going to continue to live on this planet for however long the gods allot to me, I need to have a beautiful lover man who treats me with kindness, honour and respect and cherishes me. And all the other ones that aren't serious or like to play sick little games, bye-bye. Anyway, it is what it is. I've been doing this life alone for 29 years. I can do it for another 29. Although I don't want to live to be, now let's see, I'm nearly 59. So, yeah, I'd be 88, 87. I don't want to live that long. But my father lived 3 days shy of his 89th birthday, which is quite an achievement given how insanely violent and aggressive and awful he was. And my mother lived to 83, which is also an achievement given she lived through World War II, right? abusive husbands and various other illnesses. So I have a morbid terror that I might live to my old bones, and I've been kind of trying to avoid it, but the gods decree what they decree. So I guess if I meet a nice man in the next year or so, might be stuck with me for 30 years. Now that's a terrifying thought, getting old with someone. I guess if it's someone lovely and sweet and kind and sincere and who has my back and my front, that won't be such a bad thing. But it's hard to imagine it, really, wrap my mind around it, given my childhood and my history of abusers. So sometimes one should just not think and just move from the heart space and just take a chance. And I've begun taking chances with people, and it's a little bit astonishing. It's also a little bit dangerous, darlings, but if you don't take a chance, you'll never know. So, memories, 8th of January 2023. Hollow men, prickly fireballs, and incandescence from the putrefaction. C'est la vie, babies. So, buckle your seatbelts, because by that title alone, I know it's going to be yet another bumpy ride. And I'm looking forward to the rest of my life being smooth sailing when I finally process all this. 58 years of experiential awareness and trauma. Anyway, I posted a picture of flames. It's not one of my photos, it's one, oh, you can't see it, bugger. Flames. My Phoenixian spirit uprising, as she does. Very, very often I have to burn myself down and start from ground zero and build again. It's happened many times in my life. Sometimes it's even happened several times a day in the worst times of my life. But here we go. 8th of January 2023. That was today, a year ago. The ED doctor was a decent human being. I'm still processing what he said, which basically was that I don't have an infection but did have bacterial contamination, which sounds like an infection to me. Why would you have bacteria contamination if you're not infected? Anyway, I'm not a doctor, so I just rolled my eyes and went with it. He was British too. Close your eyes and think of Britain, darlings. No, he wasn't at all like that. He was a gentleman. For once, I found a doctor who was a gentleman in that hospital. They're rare, people. They are rare. He referred to the TVT tape as a potential risk for bladder cancer, although he saw no evidence that I have bladder cancer yet. So that was a relief. He did refer to it as that alien thing attached to your body. So I knew then he understood that I have been seriously harmed by it, and that after 15 years, it is now failing me. And I'm due to see the urologist on Thursday morning, early Thursday morning this week. So hopefully we can begin treatment for the bladder overactivity, which she says is caused by nerve signaling either from my kidneys or from my pituitary gland, but that the bladder itself is in fairly good shape, which is miraculous given it's hitched and held together by an alien thing. So that my body is managing to coexist with up until now, but oh dear goddess. Anyway, I had a relatively good night last night. I only got up 3 times during the night to pee, so that's a good night, 2 to 3 times. bad nights is when I'm up 20 times. So looking forward to better health when they put the Botox in the bladder to calm it down, right? I'll get proper sleep. I'll be motivated. I'll be energized. I'll be even more overproductive than I am now. No, not possible. I'll probably return to being quite calm and serene and sleep more because I'll be able to sleep. And I'll have a serenity never before seen, right? That'd be nice. Serenity. Can you smell the serenity, darlings? Oh, all that extra energy I'll have, I'll be able to channel it into good sex with a good man. Ha. Look, I had to laugh. I had to throw it in there. It's just a joke, darlings, to me now. It really is. True love has been an elusive beast. So I just have to joke about that. Cryptically, he advised me, we're going back to my doctor's instructions, the ED doctor's instructions. Cryptically, he advised me to not, unless absolutely necessary, have any radiology scans, as the radiation will put my bladder at further risk of cancers. He repeated this statement when I looked at him in shock. And yes, I did have dental treatment in June, and yes, it did set me back for a few more months because the x-rays on the jaw shouldn't happen, but what else are you going to do? I had to have them. My teeth are cracked too. I'm falling apart at the seams, darling. I'm not going to make it. I don't think I'll make it to 83 or 88, 89 like my mad bastard parents. They ground me down with decades of trauma, and they've taken years off my lifespan. I'm quite convinced of that. But every time I say that, the gods vomit me back to earth and send me back for some more experiential awareness and the quest for true love, babies. True love. So, and as I said to you before, I am truly loved platonically by good, kind, sweet friends and my doctors, so I'm grateful for that. He also informed me, and this was the most astonishing news of all, that my entire Queen Elizabeth II hospital file is missing and that it is possibly archived, but since it was missing, he could not cross-reference any of my urology reports from the past 15 years since I had had that surgery. He looked genuinely as shocked as I was to discover my file is missing. And as he actually stated, they don't lose the files of serial killers and pedophiles, but they lost mine. And I've since discovered via the settlement, the Ethicon settlement for my TVT tape, the lawyer told me that my file is not the only one missing, and that the delay in settlement is due to the lawyers having to actually seek out the paper trail of every woman who had surgeries whose files are now missing and therefore can't prove that they had the surgery. It's outrageous, absolutely outrageous. So it's a cover-up on the part of our government and our public hospitals and clinics. It's a massive fucking cover-up, people. But anyway, I am in line to receive a small settlement for which, you know, I appreciate that. Can't say I'm grateful since I'm left with a perpetually ill health for the rest of my life, but at least it's an acknowledgement that I was treated badly, and not just me, but all the other women impacted by that. So, yes. He recommended I gather together all patient notes from any doctor I had ever visited via FOA, but I could expect that large swathes would be redacted if it affected other interested parties. I told him, oh, where's the mouse? Where does that mouse just disappear to? Oh, we'll do it this way. I told him I understood, as I once worked... Where is that mouse? I just saw it flicker just then, somewhere. Ah, is that it? It's like weird how the mouse... Ah, found it. Just randomly disappears without me touching it. Like a man. Sayonara, sweethearts. Oh, look, you know, maybe having a long-term health issues made me a bit cynical about life. Do you think? Maybe I was always cynical about life. You have to laugh, though. Yeah, I'll repeat that. I told him I understood, as I once worked for the Office of Health Practitioners Board as their archivist as a temp for 2 months. It was amazing how much vital information would be redacted. He started shaking. I did too. Like when he realised I actually knew exactly what's been done to me, that I'm not actually stupid. He was like, the enormity of it, you know, it is immense. It's absolutely immense what's been done to me. I wisely took my friend along as a patient advocate because I needed another witness, and my friend was equally shocked to learn that it was not recommended that I have scans because of the, quote, radiation, unquote. Come on, Mousy, sit over there and stay there. I know it is advisable to limit x-rays, etc., but never have I been point blank told to avoid them at all costs before. This information, along with my Queen Elizabeth II file being missing, is deeply alarming. I am not sure how to process this information. I was a patient of that hospital for dentistry, colonoscopies. I think I had about 6 or 7 colonoscopies there. Can't even remember exactly how many, but about 7. And that evil, infamous bladder surgery, vagina repair and hysterectomy. The vagina repair, I'll just explain to men and the uninitiated, was because I'd had experienced a prolapse. So everything had to be pulled back up and cut and stitched by the same surgical instrument. It was explained by my friend who's a, what was this? The one, endocrinologist. He explained to me the process. I said, I really didn't need to hear that, but it's good to know. So I was hoisted up, uterus pulled out through the vaginal cavity, a tape put on my bladder to lift that up, hitch that up so that I don't end up incontinent. That was the plan, right? Of course, they did it the quick, easy way with this TVT mesh that is toxic to women's bodies, by the way. And anyway, and I didn't know that at the time, or I wouldn't have had it, would I? Again, not enough patient consent, patient information, informed consent, they call it. But like this other thing they did in the last 4 years. Anyway, more malfeasance upon malfeasance upon malfeasance on the human population. But anyway, so this was back in 2000, the 30th of October 2007 when I had the surgery. And then they go in with a special knife that is also a pair of scissors, and they cut, and at the same time as they're cut, it cauterizes, which burns, and stitches you up. So my entire vaginal canal was repaired. So, and then after that terrible surgery, which was really 3 surgeries for the price of 1, all done at the same time, right? I I got a terrible bladder infection while I was in the hospital. So I was actually in there for 5 days, very, very fucking ill indeed. Very ill indeed. And very vulnerable, and was abused constantly by nursing staff with nasty comments. And one male, he was actually an Asian nurse, one male nurse actually followed me into the bathroom under the guise of he had to make sure I didn't fall down, right? This was like not long after they took the calipers off my legs, about day 3. And you just stood there staring at my naked body while I'm trying to shower. It was just odd. So I said to him, don't stand there looking at me like a slack-jawed idiot. Go and get me a nightie. Kicked him out of the bathroom, right? He ran like a rabbit too, came back with a nightie, didn't come back into the bathroom. When I came out, another patient said to me, she said, I'm actually a registered nurse and you should put in a complaint about that. That was sexual harassment. She said, he didn't need to be staring at you while you bathed like that. I said, I know. So that's why I kicked him out of the bathroom. She said, it's outrageous. But that's just one of the things I endured while I was in that hospital. It was, you know, another female nurse staff member referring to me as that poor bitch in the orthopaedic ward, because I don't know why I was put in the orthopaedic ward, why I couldn't have a bed in the normal ward for hysterectomies and bladder repairs. But anyway, I was in there with all the women that had hip replacements and knee replacements, and in a way I was glad of that, because I saw how excruciating painful their surgeries were, and what they were put through was intense. It still takes my breath away. So look after your hips and your knees, people, for as long as you can, because it's not pleasant, that surgery. They get you up within an hour of having the surgery and make you walk around, which they say they have to, but by the gods, that the sweat pouring off them of absolute agony was horrific. Anyway, that evil, infamous bladder surgery, vagina repair and hysterectomy, which has caused bad health outcomes for my bladder, and now that file is unavailable. So he explained that all medical files were digitalised 5 years ago, and that possibly explains why my 15-year-old paper file is lost. No, that cannot possibly be. I know, as a one-time archivist, how precious those patient files are. He admitted that he was able to read my Princess Alexandria, anyway, you know what I mean, hospital file, and stared into my eyes rather meaningfully. I stared back. That surgery was 3.5 years ago, so would be still freshly digitized. Anyway, and the fickle fingers of fate, right? And as I had the fight of my life pursuant to the abuse at that surgery, I can only imagine the lies and obfuscation of duty of care they, the health professionals or Queensland health hierarchy, wrote about me. Also, there would be the record on the Princess Alexandra hospital records of my suicide attempt. So perhaps that was what he was staring meaningfully at me about. Because yes, due to my lifetime of complex trauma and my family history of suicide, I am a suicide risk, which is why I'm still in therapy to this very day after 25 years. If I get too triggered by some malfeasant fucking low-level fucking arsehole, I have a tendency to want to leave permanently, especially since it's rare that I ever had any support from Queensland Police while under constant threat, and have often had to take things into my own hands to survive horrific events. So there is that. There is that. And, you know, the systemic abuse at the hospital is just another case in point of things I had to survive when I was weak and vulnerable and at their mercy, you know, freshly injured from surgeries. Necessary surgeries, but still an invasion of my body autonomy and a wounding, right? But no, I get treated like worse than an animal when I get sick or get cast low. I get abandoned by my true beloveds, my own daughters, and recently, you know, a new friendship potential lover. No, they can't bear for the Tanya to be weak and vulnerable, or even in love. It's verboten. Well, fuck them for their sadistic, empty hearts. That's all I have to say about that. Hopefully, that should be a comma, they wrote a fair and truthful catalogue of events, because I know I did, and my conscience is clear. I know now that I need to see a GP if I want further investigation of my bladder. I will need one for asthma medication at any rate. Surely that cannot be withheld from me as a basic human right. Well, they withheld antibiotics in 2022 when I was desperately ill, probably from shedding symptoms, if the truth be known. Because that was a strange illness and it wasn't COVID. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I actually thought I was going to die of that illness. So here I am, 2024, still fighting on. I also know that my bladder may have something seriously wrong with it, but he suggested I may have to make peace with that and accept any pain relief that is offered at a future time, i.e., I will potentially be terminal from this. Here's the bizarre thing that I was really angry about, which I did discuss with my psychiatrist. He did offer me Lyrica, which is an antidepressant, but I refused as I had it in 2018 when my left leg was collapsing out under me, and Lyrica did nothing to heal that situation or provide relief. Neither did Mobic, which I joked at the time sounds like a Serbian death squad. I know, dark and not actually funny. No, it's fucking hilarious. But anyway, sorry to my Serbian friends, but a few of my friends are Serbs and they will find it hilarious too. But I will not be... Predrag, he'd love that. But I will not be pumped full of cocktails of drugs issued by Big Pharma, which I personally know do not work for me. I am treatment resistant. From years of I'm still laughing about the Serbian death squad, excuse me. It isn't actually funny, but it is if it's a drug they pump on you called Mobic that doesn't work. It's the equivalent of a Serbian death squad. Do you see how I, reached that conclusion? They pump you full of drugs that don't work, get you addicted to it, so then you're dependent on another drug that doesn't work, get you addicted to that. Before you know it, you're in a cocktail of drugs, none of which are actually healing you and are killing you. Yes, I do have an anxiety about having Botox pumped into my bladder to calm it down, because it's a toxin, people. It's going to kill something else in my body. I'm convinced of that. Just like the HRT killed my gallbladder, right? Jesus. So it's not funny, people, really. It's not funny. But, I'm trying to survive on planet Earth. I'm hoping to maybe get another 10 or 20 years, maybe with someone loving and kind by my side, being my man, being caring and respectful and honouring and cherishing. And yes, I'll live that dream till I die. Why not? I've got nothing else to do. Live in dreamland. Try and avoid doctors that are killing me. Live happy, live free, live wild, live joyously, dance. Oh dear goddess. We've got a storm coming. It's all black over in the west. Anyway. I am treatment resistant from years of near-death experiences as a young child. It's how my brain rewired itself. Sad but true. And also the horrific systemic abuse of nursing and doctors' staff that I experienced each time I wound up in hospital as a child. Not good, people. Not good at all. Anyway. He also advised me to keep dancing, i.e. enjoy what is left of my ravaged body after decades of malpractice and malfeasance. Wow, the body's doing okay, really. It's holding itself together. So I have decided that as long as I can dance without pain or incontinence or too much pressure on my bladder or organs or joints, that I will continue to strive to extract whatever joy I can from life. Life is, after all, for the courageous, the vital, and fully fleshed out, blossoming ones. Yes, even at this late stage of life, when medical treatment is problematic, as one has disappeared, so to speak, via one's medical records. Well, I have beaten the odds before, and no doubt with the help of the gods and my angels, I will again, and the help of my worthy psychiatrist, who has fought for me to see this lovely urologist doctor as well. Courage under fire, people. I feel much gratitude to this doctor I consulted with this evening for being a mensch enough to tell me the truth. I am also grateful to my dear friend who sat with me for hours and acted as a patient advocate for me. Thank you, dear heart. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Thank you, Lynn Sloan. 3 hours later, waiting on results from my blood tests, I need to see a urologist. Duh! Fearful that nothing will be done again. The doctor made a comment. Good luck finding a doctor you can get along with. Then, after I shot him my death stare from behind my mask, he quickly covered by saying, "There's a lot of options out there." Really? No, there is not. Finding a real doctor with basic human dignity for their suffering, mature age female patient is actually as rare as hen's teeth in this zombie apocalypse. But here I am, stubbornly trying to get treatment from the same hospital that damaged me with the TVT tape. It's insane, really, utterly. As a quick segue, I got a text to remind me about my appointment on Thursday morning from my urologist reception. And, you know, it's very, I don't know if it's deliberate or what that was, but it was very confusing. The text said, you have a phone appointment for Thursday morning, right? And I thought, that's odd. Why would I have a phone appointment when I need to have a follow-up appointment to discuss when she's going to start with the Botox treatment, which I'm hoping she starts on Thursday, because the sooner I start it, the sooner we'll know if it calms my bladder down, right? The sooner I can get better. So I thought, that's odd. So you've got to text yes or no. So I texted back, I thought I had an in-person appointment. Of course, you don't get a reply because it's some computer thing. So I'll follow up. So I rang the reception and I spoke to the reception. She said, oh, are you post-operative? I said, no. She said, but it's a follow-up appointment. I said, yes, a follow-up appointment to see when I start treatment for my bladder. Oh, she says, oh, we've got you down as post-operative. So we've got you down for a phone appointment. Even that's odd. Why would you give a phone appointment to someone who's post-operative? Surely they'd need to be seen, right? And like in person. Anyway, something stunk to high heaven. So I said to her, well, she said, oh no, well anyway, she said, come in on Thursday morning. She said, you will be seen. Hallelujah, brother. But I had to kind of wrangle and fight for that because somebody wrote down that I need a phone appointment. This is a games are being played by admin assistants, right? It's odd. It's a bit fucking odd. But anyway, it's all sorted now. I'm going in person and I'll see my urologist and hopefully everything will be fine. Just going to put this on silent because I don't want to be disturbed. I have prayed to God to be treated properly and taken seriously. Time will tell. I may not have enough time, but I have the patience and resilience of Job. And it's only since November that my psychiatrist fought for me to go and, see this urologist. So I waited 10 months to finally be at the stage where I'm about to get treatment, or so I hope. Even though I do have an anxiety about having Botox in a way, I hope it just fixes that one problem and doesn't toxify anything else, but who knows. My baby boy is sitting on my foot on this beautiful, blessed day. My baby boy is now in Valhalla. My beautiful one. So now they gifted me the song, they meaning the spirits. Cover me with kisses, baby, was the lyric. And I knew it was a Blondie song, so I had to look it up. And the song is called Call Me. Kind of comical. 11 a.m. I finally got some sleep after passing out around dawn, 5 a.m.-ish. Oh my God. But I feel refreshed, so that is a good start to this day. As I was waking up, I heard the word blintzes. What, I asked? Blintzes, blintzes, blintzes. These are Jewish food, thin pancakes folded up in a package stuffed with ricotta and jam or honey or stewed fruit. I haven't had one in years. So my synapsing brain started musing about all the effort it would take to make blintzes, which I have not made in decades, except maybe once or twice. Then I started musing over who the hell is reminding me of blintzes when I have barely opened my eyes or started processing thoughts, words, actions. My mother-in-law of blessed memory used to make them all the time. She spoke Yiddish and made traditional Polish Jewish food. It might have been her. If so, interesting. I have had a spirit around the house in recent days, one that Beauregard can see as he watches the hallway, which is in the centre of my house and acts as a sort of portal, I think. I knew it was a friendly or good spirit as he seemed to wag his tail in greeting to it. Rati, my Muslim cleaning lady, also noticed him fixating on the hallway when she said goodbye to him after finishing her work. I had wondered who the spirit might be, so blintzes could be either Hilda, who made them often, or my father-in-law Harry, who loved eating them. Funny old world. Although, to be fair, it could be any spirit just messing with my memories, or someone that likes blintzes. Or I got it wrong and they said blitzers. A figurative slap up the side of my head. They definitely showed me the blintzes dripping with honey. Now I'm hungry and need to haul my ass out of bed. Boker tov, chaverim. Good morning, friends. The Tanya must arise from her insomniac doom and fend off the gloaming and make a day for herself. Hilda died alone and abandoned of a heart attack, grief. So if she's here, it's a bit of a worry as she knows I am not well again. But love is the law and I will fight on another day. So this would have been written before I went to attend the hospital, because I took Lynn with me as a witness, and that happened in the afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon, when I knew it would be quiet. Even the ED doctor commented, he said, "You picked a very quiet day to come in," he said, on a Sunday afternoon, looking at me suspiciously. I said to him, "Of course, doctor, I'm not an idiot." I said, "I've been very unwell." I said, "I was quite unwell." I said, "But I've deliberately waited until today, Sunday afternoon, so I'm not competing with all the car crash victims and the heart attack victims that come in on Friday and Saturday nights, right?" He just looked at me like, I mean, I knew my illness was not life-threatening in that moment. Could wait, right? So wait I did. But I really was unwell enough to take myself off to a hospital that I could not trust because of their malfeasances over many years with my treatment. 3:49 a.m, no sleep, up all night. I might as well have gone dancing. Beauregard is also restless. He keeps jumping off the bed and running into the hall, looking for some invisible entity. So there you go. I had a spirit with me for real. You know, probably coming because I was so weakened that they can sense that I was vulnerable maybe. I don't think I was dying at that point in time, but I wasn't feeling too hot, I can tell you that much. Just now he asked to go outside again. He gnawed on some grass, mused a while, then came back inside with me. I'm just thinking how utterly horrific it was that only, 7 months later he died. It's just my poor little dog and we went through hell together. It's raining now outside. Oh well. That big ugly black cloud that was in the west is now above my head. Around 2 a.m. we both sat outside on the dewy grass and soaked up the luminescent light under the full moon. I actually put a light on actually. No, it doesn't make any difference. Still look a bit pale. It was beautiful. The light shone all over my back garden and the air was cool and fresh. I don't understand why I can't sleep. It's a tad insane as physically I feel tired. My bladder is constantly squeezing. It's getting rather annoying. It's an understatement. But I guess I will sleep enough when I am dead. I already lost 30 years to oversleeping, so now my body knows its time on earth is limited. It wants to pee, dance, create, and never sleep again. I feel like dancing under the moon, but instead I lie here, craving sleep. Oh well, see you on the flip side. 8th of January 2022. I found the sterling silver pendant holder, minus the pendant I think I gave to Crystal as a guitar pick. Lol. Whoops. So I went into my newly cut out A1 quality Pawa collection, and I'm using the silver piece on a beautiful piece of Pawa. Second life for the silver holder and first life for the Pawa shell as a beautiful pendant. And it didn't sell, hasn't sold. I'm disappointed about that. I'm disappointed. All my hard work and nothing sells. But anyway, here it is. 8th of January 2021. No dancing tonight. My debrief cancelled also. 3-day lockdown to try to contain the new UK mutant strain of COVID-19. Nasty business. Just when things were starting to begin to be normal. But life is never what it seems. I have decided to go ahead with the CBD oil trial after all. The compounding pharmacy does not have any in stock until mid-January. They didn't get it even back then, so I gave up again. I figure I won't know if it has any beneficial effects unless I trial it. And you can't trial it if you can't get access to it. Catch-22, right? Meanwhile, they demand more and more money off you. It's outrageous. I think with this COVID mutant strain running amok, it will cause further trauma activation and or stress. So I will need all the extra help I can get. Did all that I went through the last 4 years without medications, just on my talking therapy with my psychiatrist alone and my own guts and determination to survive. Long queues formed at Coles and Greenslope Shopping Centre soon after the Greater Brisbane lockdown was announced this morning. This is from the ABC Brisbane. Just before 9 a.m, the manager said over the intercom system, numerous lines are forming across the shop. These lines are huge. They are bigger than they were in March. We didn't get any warning about this. Please look after yourselves and our team members. Then at 9 a.m, we've now stopped people from entering the store. Just bear with us. Like complete fucking anarchy and chaos, right? Remember, your local supermarkets will be open during the lockdown. They are not required to close. You are allowed to leave your home during lockdown for essential shopping. There is no need to panic buy. Well, they scaremongered the population so much that every time they made an announcement like that, everyone panic bought. They went completely insane. Except for me, who's always broke and couldn't afford to hoard food, right? Jesus. It's frightening, actually. But I got through with the help of my friend Lynn Sloan, and, you know, I was very, very fortunate to have her support. Here I post a meme. A sensitive soul, a heart of wild. You grew up thinking you're a cursed child. Embrace your blessing. It's not a curse because you've been kissed by the universe. Aw, sweet, innit? I really have been cursed, but it's nice to think positive sometimes. Burnt Teddy on 27th of April 2020 and made a video about it for YouTube. Cathartic. This is in response to a memory from 8th of January 2020. The postman has been, and to my delight I have received not one, but an abundance of fossilised shark teeth from Morocco, Africa, 50 to 55 million years old. I thought I just purchased one. Also another fossil arrived. My letter written to Heidi, Zani and Angela's father when I was 9 years old. The original letter, that is. Sighs. All my heartfelt soul remnants flying home to me for further processing. I still have not set fire to that teddy bear. Bushfire season. I guess I've kept it for 45 years, so what is a few more weeks or months? Here's a photo of my fossilised shark teeth. I gave some away as presents to little boys in the neighbourhood. That was sweet during COVID, and I think I've got a few left. I could set in sterling silver, I suppose, and wear around my neck 55 million year old teeth to remind me choppers can persist even though mine don't. Here I write, you can see in my childish writing. I'll read it out to you. 15th of May, Wednesday. It would have been 1974, which is when we went to Melbourne to go and live with Kees van der Graft, Cornelis van der Graft. To Mr. Peter, Mrs. Peter, Heidi, Zunny and Dougie, I have had a very nice trip from Germany. We passed many ports. On the ship it was neat fun, but it was, how cute, but it was very dirty. Tomorrow, me and Mum are going to Australia for 6 months. My parents lied for how long we were going to Australia for. We're going on a ship called the Patrice. When we get to Australia, I need to sit upright. I'm getting sciatic pain. Ugh, I'm slumping in my chair. That's not good. When we get to Australia, I will write to you all again. Angela got a kitten from the SPCA. He's ginger and white and has smoky eyes, and his lips and nose are rosy. He's also very, very affectionate. And he likes sitting on my shoulder. Last night I stayed the night at Angela's flat. How is good old Casper? Is he all right? That must be their little, they had a little dachshund, little doggy. Must have been his name. He was a cute little dog. Mummy's friend, Uncle Trevor, bought me a big teddy bear as a going away present. Yuck, 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 yuck. Did I mention yuck? I'm writing this letter at Angela's house because I'm still there and want to write. The kitten keeps on coming on the table and biting the end of my pen. Also, while I was writing before, he hopped on the table and sat on my piece of paper, so I had to put him on my shoulder. Now it's in my way again, nibbling at my pen. It's always sitting on my piece of paper. Marika, which is my niece's name, who's 6 years younger than I, so she would have been about 3, is in bed now. For Christmas, I got lots of things. It's a sunny day today. Yours sincerely, and my sister wrote in German, Viele Grüße, Tanya Phillips, with 6 kisses. My sister wrote a translation in German so they could understand what I was writing, which is very sweet. January 8th, 2021. The aircon is amazing. My love life is still a stagnant pool of misbegotten memory. Lol. The climate is still changing to our detriment, and now we have COVID-19. It's apocalyptic, But what can we do but strive to survive, to continue to survive? And this was in response to a post I made on 8th of January 2020, 3:33 p.m, fish pond filters cleaned. It was so hot out there, I'm dripping in sweat and even hyperventilated, heart pounding, breathless, but I got the job done. I also went back out and affixed my Stevie Smith arm back in place on the top metal grate. I'm not waving, I'm drowning in sweat. I've got to plug in, guys. I've got to plug in. The battery's low. The battery's low, it says. The battery is low. The electrician who came to quote for the new, yes, it's working, air conditioner commented how hot it is. I said, I am conscious that it's only going to get hotter. After almost 17 years of suffering in the heat, I give up. I prayed to my angels for help with an aircon, and miraculously, one of my earth angels is buying me one. I just plugged it in, it's still saying it's low. Crazy machine. I feel very much loved and protected, and to you, my beautiful one, if you watch my videos. I don't know if that person watches my videos, but anyway. Hopefully the quote is a reasonable price. He will let me know tomorrow. To be fair, I prayed for other things too, like much needed rain where the fires are and a better love life. So the aircon is one big sign that my prayers are being answered. Oh, but you know, I must say that last year, really 2022, I noticed there were men being much sweeter to me at the Live Wire bar at the casino, and although I didn't take them up on any offers because one was very lovely but far too young, and the others were just kind of creepy and weird, but it did start flickering from about 2022 on. So it took about a year or so, but my love life is starting to flicker. Hasn't blown into a full-blown eternal true love flame yet, but the flickering's even been astonishing given the long, dark, empty desert of putrefaction that I went through for the past 8 years. Just have to shake one's head. It even rained on the east coast a bit. As for my love life, that might take a bit more than a miracle, as humans have free will. Ahem. Oh dear goddess. Never mind, my darlings. 8th of January 2020. Lila Tov, good night. It's a beautiful night outside. The moon is waxing. In a few more nights, it shall be full. I must close my eyes and hallucinate for a few hours, as psychedelic dreamers are created to do. I hope I have better dreams than last night, which were a bit awful, as I dreamt of a man with a suppurating, pustulant, huge pimple on the back of his neck. It was really gross. So that's nice. Maybe tonight someone will have excavated it for him and slapped on a bandage. Better yet, I hope to have much more pleasant, less medically grisly dreams. But you never know what you are going to get. I have had another good day, 2 days in a row. Woohoo! It was extremely hot today, though, but it's a typical Australian summer, a new kind of normal. We will adjust and strive to thrive again, like frogs in a boiling pot, right? Just keep turning up the heat, till we can't survive it anymore. It's heinous what's going on, people. Interfering in our weather patterns. Yes, I read that bit out already, so we'll just go down, scroll down. I had a lovely day yesterday. I had a visit from Sally. It was great to see her. It was the first day in weeks that I was not beset by cataclysmic tummy issues. I have felt like I am dying for a long time. But yesterday was a happy day, and I am grateful for that. It's amazing how just one full day of respite from pain and gastric unpleasantness can make one feel quite joyously alive again. As always, I move through life one day at a time. Today the lawnmower man is coming, so that will tidy up the grass as it grew like mad after the brief downpour of rain we had 2 weeks ago. Life always finds a way. Here's a lovely photo of my beautiful friend Sally. We don't talk often, but she's always in my heart. And the last page of The Mystery of You, oh, where did that go? By Adine Steinsuchts and Ron Goldschlager, which I won years ago. I rarely win anything, in a competition in J-Wire. I only read it halfway through and was flicking to the end out of curiosity, as I'm going through my Frummy books with the intention to donate them to one of the shul libraries, which they weren't interested, so I just gave them to Lifeline in the end. But the message reinforced what my lawnmower man just told me. I must be my own light, let go of past traumas, shine my light even more. I told him, I am like a prickly, fiery fireball, incandescent with inner fire, and can't possibly shine any more. But it seems Hashem, that means God, wants to remind me that I am not yet completed in my becoming. I have fallen and fallen and fallen, and still mysteriously, with the help of my angels, both ethereal and physical, rise and shine and blossom in the divine. And I posted a page from that was the profound message that came from that book. It is that person who walks with his backpack on his shoulder and continues walking even when he gets hit. The person whose buildings are destroyed, yet he rebuilds them. Whose plants are uprooted, yet he replants them. Whose descendants are killed, yet he gives birth to new ones. Well, I can't give birth to new ones, and both my daughters are rendered infertile thanks to the recent epoch. Sons of bitches. Thus we have the level of loving God with all your heart. Beyond that we have with all your soul, which is the one-time sacrifice, and above and beyond that is with all your might, which is the determination to continue indefinitely, although the future is unclear, and there is no promise as to when all of this is going to end. This heroism is not fit for movies or theatre shows, but it is a kind of heroism that is suitable not only for great, prominent people, but also for the simple, and the small. It is the heroism of when I fall, I shall arise. Micah chapter 7 verse 8, of a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 16. The just man falls 7 times because he is no angel. He is merely a just man. Angels fall only once, if ever. A just man falls and falls and falls again, and there is no guarantee that after the 7th fall there will come an end to the trials and the tribulations and the obstacles. He may even fall 77 times, but always rises up again. And this is precisely the kind of heroism we need now. The heroism to continue in a situation where no promises are made, in which I know nothing about what is going to happen. It is the heroism of falling and rising up again and again and again. The heroism of, in quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Isaiah chapter 30 verse 15. I hope that we shall have the strength for this kind of heroism as well, so that we can be as the sun when he goes forth in its might. Judges chapter 5 verse 31. Able to keep waking with unceasing perseverance while constantly emitting light and warmth. And now you see why I call myself a warrior goddess, because I too had to keep getting up and rising up after every evil that beset me, every abuser, every liar, every false, lackluster lover. And I still remain hopeful of finding my one true love one day, and of living out this life in great joy, greatest, most cherished love and shalom. It's a work in progress, people, and I'm still living that psychedelic dream too, in my own light and warmth, although I do fall prey to my own cynicism and grief and bitterness at times at the awful way I have been treated for the past 58 years. Ding! Begin again, rise up again, keep my heart open, and I will love again, and I will be loved again, and again, and potentially again. Hopefully by the same person. Someone who can make a commitment, right? That'd be nice. At Amanda's coffee shop this morning, where I stopped to say hello after getting money out from my lawnmower man, she told me one of our young acquaintances, who was as spiritual as I, has killed herself. Awful, but I get it. I told Amanda that I often tell my much younger friends that you can survive most things, but only if you surround yourself with truly good people who have your back and are genuine and authentic. It's not always easy to find them. But I am living proof that one can survive into middle age even after decades of trauma and depression. But young people dying is becoming far too common. Life is not meant to be so hard, but the bushfires and other calamities are a reminder of how precarious life really is. I squeeze every ounce out of every day, as I too know, more than most, how trauma and depression and grief can steal one's joy and innate life force, and in a moment of hellish proportions can tip us trauma survivors into making a permanent decision for a temporary solution. I am okay with life and gifted with beautiful souls who love me even in my own errant darkness. I am therefore lucky, luckier than Lani who did not make it. May she find rest and peace in the eternal loving arms of the Ein Sof All. No punishment from angry, judgmental, white-bearded, patriarchal gods. Only eternal light and peace and soul healing. Her journey continues. I ask the angels to protect her. Her hell has ended in this physical form, at least. I went off on the idea of shamanism when I discovered how completely vicious they too are towards suicides. No one deserves to be punished for suffering mental health issues, usually caused by trauma as young children. I want no part of any god or philosophy that says or does such a thing. And I am a shaman with mercy and compassion towards the suicides, because I have walked that walk and talked that talk, and I'm still alive, breathing, smiling, and living as joyously and triumphantly as I can manage given my life circumstances, with true love withheld from me, prosperity withheld from me, and still out in the world, many, many enemies who still look at me with envy and spite for my merest survival, which makes them just in a category of their own insanity. Evil is what they are. But here I am, still strutting my stuff, living my best life against all the odds. 8th of January 2019. I just received a letter from QE2 with an appointment with the gastroenterology team. Weird. They sent me a letter a few weeks ago stating I will have to wait another year on the waiting list, so someone must have advocated for me. I hope they book me in for the surgery to have the gallstones removed. This might just be another colonoscopy though. It was. The letter states I have to have someone with me overnight post-surgery. No one has ever stayed with me overnight to keep an eye on me, so I will have to lie or I won't get the fucking much-needed surgery. And I don't like lying. I avoid lying at all costs. But to survive, I had to do that. It's abhorrent, people. I will need someone to bring me home, or the hospital won't release me. But all my friends and former boyfriend used to just drop me home and piss off. No one gives a flying fuck about a vulnerable, ill Tanya. There's a long life pattern of that. Just like I'm withheld a truly loving, loyal, faithful love partnership, I'm withheld protection when I'm sick and vulnerable. But I survived major surgery alone and 3 other colonoscopies. So what difference will one more make? Laughing my ass off. Here I write, I have handed all the monkeys back, and I have done all this without resorting to damping down with Valium or any other drug. I didn't even buy any wine down the shops. I don't need crutches anymore. I might be crawling on the gravel rash of my own life, but by the gods, I am determined to fly one fine day. May it come soon. The dead are dancing. Just saw more soulless Walking Dead ex-friends down the supermarket. I ignored all of them. Under complete spiritual attack, but it's okay. I have a very angry Scottish warrior on my team. Fee, fi, fo, fum. We smell the blood of the English men. Sigh, sighs. Funny I mentioned her earlier this morning. Crazy evil loosh feeders can just stay the fuck away. Her own child had to escape to heroin to survive her. Fucking psychic vampire. It's true too. Awful but true. I drove around the car park as they deliberately waited for me at the car park exit. Sad cunts. Do they not realise that in spite of her master's degree, I am a bizarre genius and well aware of their petty games, laughing my ass off. It was that, or I would have been tempted to drive right into them, and I am not going to prison for any vapoured ghoul. Tempting thought, though it was. Anyway, rather annoyingly, I forgot cat food, so have to go back out later. Fuck it. And later I wrote, what's your dog's name? Herpes. If she's good, she heals. I love my vagina. It was hitched and stitched in October 2007 after a prolapse. It is in excellent condition for an old girl. This is why it is so deeply wounding and foul and disgusting when a former lover referred to me as having an ugly vagina, not knowing that I had had major surgery. This is how foul you are, Dave, and the others that referred to me like that, in Kabbalah classes going on about my vagina. By the way, that was years before I had that surgery too. Men seem to be awfully obsessed with my vagina and its state. Wow, fuck off, dogs. But there you go. That's why that was a trigger for me. Be careful how you speak to a woman, because she will never, fucking ever, forget it. And the revenge will be sweet and long-lasting. Babies. It is in excellent condition for an old girl, probably because I did not wear it out. I had my uterus removed and my bladder repaired in the same operation. I had no support from my kids during or after that major surgery, which was traumatic, as I hallucinated on the anaesthetics and thought my evil mother was trying to visit me as I lay very, very ill, high temperature and a bladder infection post-surgery. My youngest evil daughter came to demand she move in my house while I was in the QE2 hospital, and then when I got home, picked a massive fight and left me even more traumatised in my weakened state. My former psych nurse friend made me flush all my endones down the toilet, as she was envious of me even having pain relief, and like a dickhead, I bought into her delusion that I might end up an addict like her daughter. Never. Too bloody strong for that. But I nursed myself back to health. It took 2 years, and now, 11 years later, my bladder is starting to get a bit wonky again. It's just awful. The fucking TVT mesh is a constant concern as they cause autoimmune disease. But so far, so good. Denial's not just a long river in Africa, people. Here we are, 5 more years later, struggling, right? But if I am good, I will heal and fuck all the filthy vagina haters, including the dirty females that won't wash. You just have to shake your head at the horror of it all. 8th of January 2017. Dry socket, painful again. I finished the heavy antibiotics on Wednesday. Damn it to hell. I will have to go back to the dentist to get another course. I can't believe my bad luck. 4 weeks of pain, 1 course of very strong, very expensive antibiotics, oral thrush from the antibiotic. I knocked that down with tea tree oil and coconut oil pulling. Now pain back again after only 3 days respite. I thought it was over. Not sure how I can do this. Not sure I can do this. That's what I meant. I'm missing the I. Last one took 4 months to heal, so I am really pissed off. Sitting here, swishing tea tree oil and coconut oil as I really want to heal and don't want any more antibiotics. They really make me weak. Tea tree oil kills oral thrush and bacteria. Also, I have it in the house. Kelly Ann wrote, clove oil is for the pain. You rub it on your tooth or gum or something. Dad mentioned it. It's really old school stuff my nan and her generation used to do for a bad tooth. A bit like using Bonjela, I think, as Dad said it's supposed to have a numbing or dulling effect or something. I don't know. I don't get toothaches. Lucky girl. But I remembered he talked about falling back on it as a last resort when away on holidays a few years back. He's terrified of the dentist and didn't want to use some dude in a country town he didn't know, so he was trying to put off going for a badly chipped tooth, root exposed. Me, yeah, I know about clove oil. I know what clove oil is for, but I needed to kill the bacteria to get rid of the pain. Tea tree oil and coconut oil seems to help for now. I have painkillers, but that is not getting rid of the infection. Got to get to the source of the problem. My face doesn't feel like I have a temperature now. So we'll keep doing that unless it is worse in the morning. Then I will drive to QE2 to get another emergency voucher and demand further treatment. I had pain on the top right tooth near the back today, so another one is probably infected. I am freaking out that so many teeth are dying at the same time. Not cool. Kelly Ann wrote, bugger, you getting enough vitamin C, D and iron? How long were you off your HRT? Me, not off my HRT. I get weird withdrawal symptoms when I forget to patch myself for 4 days. My GP, young and smug, laughed and tells me I'm the only woman she ever met to complain of withdrawal from HRT. Fuck my life. But yeah, I feel freaked out about so many teeth going wrong at the same time, just after I got an all clear from the QE2 dental hospital only a few months ago. Because they're by and large incompetent too. Let's just put it politely. Anyhow, I need to accept my festive state as I am 52 in April and my teeth have always been weak from years of tetracyclines as a child because of my bad lungs, because I survived whooping cough and measles, right? When I was 4 years old. So I don't even know how I'm still alive, quite frankly. Came very close to dying at that event. P.S. The doctor that came actually told my mother to keep me home and expected me to die during the night. But I didn't, because I'm a stubborn motherfucker. Don't even know why I fought so hard to stay alive even in early childhood, given how awful my life was even then. It's insane, people, why I fought to stay alive. For what purpose? I can't even have a true love partner in my life. I mean, what joy and comfort and ease and, passion and romance has been gifted to me in 58 years, almost 59 years of life on this planet. What joy have I wrested from my life, apart from my stubborn determination to go dancing on the weekends? And the joy with my bird, and the joy in my garden, joy of my few true friends. So there is that. But the rest of it has been an almighty fucking struggle. Anyway, I continue on. P.S. 8 a.m. Monday. My dry socket seems to have settled down. Soaking my mouth in coconut oil with 3 drops of tea tree seems to help a lot. When asked how my day was, mind you, I am awake at 5:33 a.m. My view is clouded by memories of an old friend, moments we shared, and experiences in a very traumatic time of my life that ultimately drove the friendship apart. I went to her memorial yesterday. It gave me a lot to think about, how time passes and either heals or steals beautiful lights from our sphere. The baton gets passed on for us to do more, be more, to support our younger adults in processing their lives as they are tasked with guiding their young children. At least they got to have children, unlike my daughters. Life is a strange kind of marathon, and most of mine was like trying to run in a potato sack while blindfolded, being mobbed by rotten eggs in the opposing egg and spoon race while the great master stood by and mocked me. But I kept running, stumbling, leaping, until I ran out of puff, lay down to die for decades, and then got up again. Now, for the past 5 years, well, it's 13 years now, dancing as fast as I can, but still going nowhere, achieving nothing, but somehow better, albeit still broke, lonely and unpartnered. Being around a loving family was good for me, being there for them in their grief, ennobling. Death takes our physical beauty, but the spiritual beauty, love, and reminders of individual friends can never be taken while we yet live. Karen's memorial yesterday has reminded me that time is fleeting. I have so much I need to achieve before I ride into the eternal sunset and or sunrise. I feel like I lost so much in my life, financially, creatively, familial. Trauma cost me heavily. Yet I am still alive, and it makes no sense when others have passed away, often unnoticed and unseen and unheard. I have no merit except courage. It took courage to survive, and it will take much more courage to thrive before I dive into the next dimension. My jaw still has a tiny ache, not fully healed, so just for today I will live quietly and summon strength and inspiration to, hopefully, write my story as a legacy for others who suffered similar experiences, to see how we can do no better or worse than be our own authentic selves, live as joyously and righteously as possible, and love ourselves and others unconditionally, but take no nasty malevolent crap. Life is a miracle and can either be heaven or hell through no fault of our own. We have to make ourselves proud of whom we are. No one can walk this life for us. It is cowardice to try to force others to live for you or through you. We all bring our unique gifts to this world. May we seek and follow our own mastery, magic, and awe. I shared my heart. It got trampled on, pissed on, stabbed, derided, violated. It was misunderstood, disrespected, rejected. I took it out and I filled it with beauty as grief, denial, betrayal could not coexist. I locked it away and threw away the key. It opens only for those who know its secret spells and universal chords. How does it go, that song? I heard he played a secret chord, and David sang, and it pleased the Lord. But you never really cared for my music, did ya? The space that it once emanated from was dark and empty. So I placed a chimeric device, a plastic, fantastic substitute, and walked my zombie walk and dreamed my life again. Eventually, in the dream, I killed myself. But my heart would not betray me. It knew. It sang a strange cosmic song. It was heard and obeyed. This body exists because my true heart sings. This body asks forgiveness for a broken, distorted mind couldn't live without her heart. So the true heart came home, consumed the chimera, the representative, and got back down to business, babies. Life 101 to PhD. Be in it, of it, with it. No escape from who you really are. Spirit, heart, mind, guts, and glory. The story continues. I wore Crystal's pair of Converse sneakers for a walk with Bobo. They fit me, but like my own pair of Converse, they gave me horrific blisters. I had to take them off and finish the walk home in bare feet. I will never buy this brand again. I rarely wear sneakers, but when I do, it ends up with bad blisters. Really annoying. I thought maybe it was my own pair that was a design flaw, but alas, no. Jared Nielsen wrote, "Wear socks with them." Me, still happens. I can't sleep due to the pain from the blisters and the dry socket. Plus some guy went past my house coughing loudly, which set Bobo off barking. Took me ages to settle him down. Then Crystal messaged me on Skype for a scone recipe. Like, what the fuck? Then I got hives or heat rash, so I had to get up and rub coconut oil on that to stop the stinging itch. Then my bladder was irritated. I went to bed to crash and now, wide awake. Fuck my life. I need my sleep to heal the bone in my jaw. Far out. Plus now it is all hot in my room. I had to close my blinds so I can't hear my creepy neighbour coughing near my fence, probably desperate for my attention. Kelly Ann wrote, when I worked at Rollerdrome, we always told people to bring along 2 pairs of socks for skating because, don't know how scientific this is, but it sort of seemed logical at the time. Apparently the story goes that the socks rub against each other rather than against your skin, and so you don't get blisters. The trick always worked for me, but I don't know whether the reasoning behind it working is correct or not. Might be worth a shot anyway. If it works for those horrible fitting rental skate boots, it just might work for those Converse things. Just don't buy crap shoes, people. Like, seriously. Just forget about it, man. Still in 2017. It's a photograph of Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking says he has a way to escape from a black hole from newscientist.com. Dear goddess. Don't get me started. Apparently he was on the Epstein list as well. Repulsive, isn't it? In more ways than one, darlings. My trauma and depression was a black hole. I came out the other side and reconstructed from the morass. Some parts of me disappeared forever. Others whistled home the energy that was needed to rebuild and heal. That is life, a constant flow of recreating into a new skin until we leave this body and move into a new light body. I mean, I can't even look at these repulsive individuals. Epstein's Island, absolutely repulsive they are. These were the leaders of our Trust the Science, by the way. Sickening and vile. And did I mention the vile excess deaths they brought about with their science? Vile, all of it. All of it, all of it, all of it. Now we find out they were all pedophiles as well. Or pedophile supporters and enablers on Epstein's Island. The things they'll do for a quick buck. 8th of January 2016, 2:20 p.m. Home from Annette, who nurtured me like a real mother. She cooked me a beautiful omelette for dinner, followed by a waffle with ice cream. So yummy. She gave me the most comforting hugs, and together we sat and talked, drank wine into the early hours of this morning. Then I took extra Seroquel and went to sleep. She gave up her comfortable bed for me to sleep in. During the morning she played with Beauregard, who was so good with her. I am so lucky to have such kind, loving friends. Thank you. Kiss, kiss, kiss. I had a good rest in bed today. Extra Seroquel quelled my explosive nervous system. I received much love from friends, both on Facebook and real life. Feeling much better now. Thank you to all who watch and worry over me. I hate being this fragile and living like a bouncing ball in a basketball game, being thrown around and tossed but always missing the basket, or being bounced in one spot 100 times, incapable of moving forward or even backwards, sidestepping. Sometimes it is cool to be twirled on the fickle finger of fate, then thrown high, then landing hard, being caught up like a treasured gift by another team player, then aimed for that next basket. I have caught a few baskets in my life, so few, but worth it. The game continues, but I need a break, a long break from my crazy existence. As Jared said today, I need a holiday. Well, I need many things. A holiday would be nice, but that will not change anything about my end-stage trauma or inability to get a partner. Meh, shmeh. Happiness is inside me. bubbling over in a glass over full. It can be champagne flavoured, or salty soda water, or bitter tonic water. I can drink from it or watch it effervesce in others' delighted eyes. Nothing is permanent, neither joy nor grief. Just keep breathing and loving and being. Aye, Asher, aye. Me, whom I am, becoming. Trying to be less brittle, less dead, more lovely. Pardon me. When did I write that? What year? I would have said what year, but I've forgotten. 2016. Right. So in June, 5 months later, I went off all my psych meds and fucking healed myself. And here we are. Surviving to thriving. It's a daily work in progress, people. 8th of January 2015. Great. I have a summer cold or flu and snapped my back last night getting up from the couch. I am such a train wreck. Living on Panadol Osteo for my pain and or pinched sciatic nerve. Not cool. Harvey and I spent the day sleeping on the couch and cuddling. He loves his auntie. Must have been dog sitting Harvey at that point in time. Sore back, sore stomach, headachy or woozy feeling. Grit on my bed thanks to Harvey going outside to pee, then burrowing himself under my doona with his muddy feet. Sweet boy, but oi. I don't feel well since early Sunday morning when I was violently sick. I think I will stay in bed today. The Hollow Men, T.S. Eliot. How I have loved the dead and stuffed, the false, the weak, and the murderous. I have suckered them from my own desiccated breast and blossomed like a rare orchid on dark, damp mountain cliff sides. I have hung by my fingernails, clutching at my own life. I have died and been revivified on a lie called hope and a disgrace called faith. I have sung the songs of angels in a voice dry and empty and monotoned like Dylan. I have fucked the enemy and called it victory, and I have made passionate love to the dead and the dying. They tried to kill me or conquer me in hallowed halls of debauchery where women float and twirl and gyrate and wiggle, but only to be mocked and descend into shit. From shit, beautiful, amazing creatures of light glisten and glow. They cannot kill us, only rape, mutilate, or dehumanize us. We are the men and women who rise above the morass, the watchers, the warriors, and the queens of our own destiny. We are alive today by free will alone, and without which we descend to oblivion. She who laughs last, laughs longest. Shema, listen. You will never forget me or my siren call to awakening. Dance, dive, rise, fall, sing, rejoice. Know before whom you stand. I yield to no man but God, and even he I wrestle with. Demons dressed as mortal men, whispering sweet words of love and encouragement. Hollow, stuffed, superficial holograms. Reach for them in the night, and they vanish into the walls, the floor, the ground beneath their feet. How I have loved them, the invisible and the manifested, the dreams of the psychedelic dream, the stuff of life. I have set before you blessings and curses, so therefore choose life. Old lovers, old enemies try to hold me down to Malchut so they could destroy me. Karma is a two-faced hag, and I have faced her enough. I have licked the wizened cheek of that monster of oblivion. The mirror shows my futility and fall from grace, while lesser men flaunt new lovers in my face. Traitors sing me lullabies while they fuck me over and scapegoat me for their own shame and disgrace. I see it all, know it all, and still I smile into the night. I cannot hate the lost and doomed, for I am them and they are me, but the vicious children don't know this yet. But Sheba will bare her breast in the moonlight yet. She will unfurl her hair and float into the dawn. You cannot have me. January 8th, 2014. Sarah had a bit of a rough day, but she has stronger pain meds now. I am sleeping beside her again to make sure she is okay through the night. The fucking treacherous dog. Hope for a nap before I go to my psych appointment at 3. A home for a nap before I go to my psych appointment at 3 p.m. I was up at 6 a.m. with Sarah getting her ready to see her eye specialist. I was treated like a fucking handmaiden, wasn't I? By that treacherous dog. Never mind, I did it quite willingly out of love for her as a true friend. And you heard me say earlier, when I come home from hospital, completely wrecked and vulnerable, no one even stays overnight with me to take care of me. No one, not even my closest friends, did that much for me. They did come during the day, but not post-surgery, not to check on me during the night. So there is that. I did a lot for that woman that betrayed me with Dave, an awful lot. I went with her and her father to help walk her to the hospital and back to the car. She was blind for 5 days after the astigmatism surgery. We made sure she got some post-op meds as they forgot them yesterday, and ordinary Panadol wasn't enough. Her anaesthetist forgot she would need them. They do that a lot at the hospitals. Sent my daughter home from gallbladder surgery without pain relief also, the evil, dirty bastards. I am sleeping over again tonight as she still needs help. I just shake my head at my goodness and my kindness, which those malevolent dogs mistook for weakness. Well, won't ever be making that mistake again, will they, the animals? 8th of January 2013. Just watched Season of the Witch, awesome movie. Now watching The Fourth Kind. Steve Saragosi, who was a friend of mine at the time, wrote, Fourth Kind has some creepy moments. Me. Yes, indeed. I have always been a believer in the paranormal and aliens, etc. But I did find Sumerian-speaking aliens a bit hard to swallow. Having said that, I have read Chariot of the Gods and certain Torah passages relating to the ascension of Ezekiel in a chariot of fire seem to corroborate the idea that we have been visited by gods before. This does not dissuade me from faith in an eternal God. These entities are certainly not loving or benevolent, so one hopes there is still a higher authority out there, a creator that supersedes even alien technology. Thought-provoking movie and chilling. And I don't know why I wrote that, because I actually do think that a lot of the alien intelligences must be benevolent, because they've been visiting our planet, or coming from the interior of a planet is another theory, for millennia. They've had plenty of opportunity to destroy humans if they wanted to. They've had millions of years to destroy us, destroy planet Earth. So I'm starting to think, or I have reached this theory, that by and large, apart from the cattle mutilations and the abductions of people, which are deeply traumatic and awful, putting implants in them and harvesting their sperm and eggs, right? But by and large, even though that's awful, it's no different to what we do to our cats and dogs, by the way, they must be, in some higher form, benevolent. They haven't destroyed humanity. Or was Oumuamua coming into our vector of space a precursor of the current epoch, which I have a suspicion was so anti-humanist that it was orchestrated by something alien. Just my thoughts on that. I can't verify it as fact, but it's just a niggling suspicion I've had that won't go away, especially with the way the mass formation psychosis meant everyone bent over and took it, right? It's just extremely odd. Extremely odd, the world I am living in now in 2023. Post-apocalyptic oddities, perhaps of an interspatial kind. I mean, you have to laugh, but it's not actually funny, people. Seriously. But the truth will always come out in the end. Always. Be ready. It's already starting to unravel, the lies and the deception. 8th of January 2012. I slept until 4 p.m. Wow. Thought I might have avoided the worst of the heat, but alas, no. Still very hot even now at 4:26 p.m. Oh well, thinking what I want to eat for breakfast. I might make poffertjes. Oh, you know what? I haven't had those in a long time. Should make some. Weirdly, I'm not hungry, and I haven't eaten since 9 p.m. last night. Whatever, I will eat when I want to, I guess. Which anyone who knows me not eating and not being hungry is highly unusual. I'm usually in a constant state of voracious hunger, which thankfully has settled down in recent weeks after I caught the COVID in October. I was voraciously hungry for a couple of months after that. It seems to have gone back into a new normal. It's my life force and determination to survive is immense and powerful and a bit astonishing at times. 8th of January 2011. I had a lovely day with a visit from Lynn and Peter, then a trip to the city with Jared, and met up with Crystal to have a look around the shops and have dinner. 8th of January 2010. I'm struggling to learn new technology with my new phone, but loving every minute of it. Every minute of it. Arg. Anyway, as you can see, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm a little bit tired today. Probably the murky weather, and I slept reasonably well. I went to sleep about midnight, and I woke up at 7, which is only 7 hours, but that's not too shabby. It's better than when I was living on 3 hours for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I seem to be sleeping a little bit better the last few days, about a week, but I guess I'm still exhausted from, weeks of insomnia and hypomania and my constant bladder issues, and I'm just looking forward to finding a new kind of balance and a more equilibrium, and having better health, of some form of better health. And I'm looking forward to my new love partnership that hasn't manifested, but I can sense his energy. Don't know who he is yet. I might not have met him yet, but I can sense his energy around me in the past week, quite intensely. And I don't know whether it's wishing and yearning and being a bit pathetic, or if it's actually someone's energy signature. But I'm feeling that there will be someone coming into my life in the near future. I don't know exactly when or who, but perhaps in the next 3 to 6 months. But I could be wrong. God knows I've been wrong before, haven't I, darlings? Oh, goddess, how wrong I've been. But even as I say that, I can feel this energy going from here down to my gut, as if to say, no, you're not wrong this time, and it is real, and you're not psychotic, and you're not imagining it, and this will be a truly good and kind and loving man, because I won't accept anyone less. So on that note of psychedelic dreaming fantasies, have a beautiful day in the space-time continuum. Yes, I do my own therapy now, to my psychiatrist's great amusement. And yes, I also do my own fortune telling now. But then, it's a bit difficult because I can't be sure if it's what's real and what's true until it manifests and happens, and then I will know. So on that note, have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening. The skies have gone all murky and horrible again. It was quite sunny when I started this. The light's all gone out of our day. But be your own internal light and your own eternal flame, and shine bright like diamonds, babies, and love your true beloveds truly and decently and honourably, and make sweet love to them joyously with great passion and heartfelt, genuine, authentic emotions, and be true, be kind, and be blessed. Think of me, little psychedelic dreamer on the margins of society, making her crazy YouTube videos, hoping, praying, manifesting for my family, my true love partner, my man, to come to me and say, come on, Tanya, let's make this happen. If someone actually did come up to me and say that, I'd be like, are you on drugs? Are you drunk? So by that, let's make it happen with someone for real, not just fantasizing or under the influence of some fantasy or substance. a real man for a real woman. That's what I'm waiting for, babies. Anyway, on that note, bye for now.